Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya
Jaya
Jaya
Dvaita Chandra
Nityananda
Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की
Goswami
जय।
Ki Jai
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Bhakti
जय।
Ki
समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Today is December 24th for us, 23rd for you, 2025. And we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to the holy places in South India. And we have been reading text 49 of this chapter for a few sessions now. So, in this particular verse, we are seeing that Mahaprabhu is uh, countering the arguments of a Buddhist acharya, a Buddhist leader, and he is countering his arguments based on logic. Why? Because Buddhists don't accept Vedas, they don't accept Shastra. So their platform or their authority for establishing the truth is argument. So, yesterday, a little bit we discussed about Srila Prabhupada explains that, of course, Vedas are the authority, but nowadays the intellectuals don't accept the Vedic authority. So, how to inspire them to take to Krishna consciousness? So, the preachers of the Krishna consciousness movement must be prepared to logically prove to them these statements, whatever atheistic views that the modern, so-called educated people hold, how to counter their arguments in their own logic. So that's why Srila Prabhupada in this purport, although there's only one verse given by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that Mahaprabhu defeated this Buddhist acharya based on logic, but Srila Prabhupada is going over what are these conclusions of Buddhists. There are 9 conclusions. What are they? And then each one of them is being countered, the way Mahaprabhu had countered it. So Srila Prabhupada is elaborating on that for the benefit of the preachers who would encounter, who would certainly encounter these arguments in their preaching uh, uh, mission. So we already discussed the first five actually. First four we discussed in the past, and yesterday we also discussed the fifth argument. So the first argument was that creation is eternal, therefore there is no creation, because its creation is existing eternally. So there is no time when actually creation is happening, because it has been existing eternally, right? So the point is it's anadi. There's no beginning for creation. Since there is no beginning for creation, then there is no creator. That's their argument. And the refutation was that your goal, one of their conclusions, one of the nine conclusions is the ultimate goal is annihilation. If there is no beginning, if there is no creation, how can there be annihilation? If you're saying annihilation is the goal, this is according to logic, right? When you say there is an end, that means there should be a beginning too. So that's one, first point. And there's more elaboration on that also, about how the creator has to be outside of this creation. He cannot be part of this creation. That means he's not material, he's transcendental. He's a person, and also he's all pervading. So all these points will come within that when you refute that creation is uh, has a beginning. It's not that creation, so their point is there is no creator. So it is established that the creator is there and he's not part of this creation. Then their second point was this cosmic manifestation is false. This world is false. So if you say this world is false, then everything in this world should be false, right? Why are you striving so hard for acquiring things in this world? Everything is false. Why you're even eating? Your pains and pleasures are false. Why you're seeking pleasure, and why you're trying to, uh, you know, to mitigate your pains. If they are false, why you're wasting your energy in this? This world is false, then pains and pleasures are also false. So, of course, that's not a fact. The world is not false. It is a fact. It is coming from real, tangible ingredients, but it is temporary. This manifestation is temporary. Then the third one is I am is the truth. When you say I am, means just one. I am is the truth. But they are ignoring that there is you also. Simply I is the truth. That means there is only one, like Brahman, we say, right? But they don't accept that Brahman also. They say ultimately it's just void. But I am is the truth. So here the logical debate argument would be, if I am is the truth, and if there is no you, if there's only I, then where is the scope for debate? For a debate, there has to be two, and your whole foundation of your Buddhist philosophy is based on logic, based on argument. How are you arguing if there's no two? That's the logic. Then the fourth one is there is repetition of birth and death. There is repetition of birth and death. On one hand, you don't accept that there is a spirit soul, but you say there is repetition of birth and death. And you're saying material manifestation is false. When you say there is repetition of birth and death, yes, there is repetition of birth and death. But what is that? That is change of material bodies. And when all material bodies are annihilated, still there will be another body which is not material, which is transcendental. Okay. Then the fifth one was what we discussed yesterday. Lord Buddha is the only source of understanding the truth. Because they reject the Vedas, so they say only Lord Buddha is the source of knowledge. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that we should accept a principle of standard knowledge. They have rejected the Vedic knowledge. They say Lord Buddha is the only source of knowledge. Whatever he says is the truth. But if you don't have a standard Vedic knowledge, a standard of knowledge, what happens is one will not be able to attain the absolute truth, the ultimate goal of life, simply by the method of intellectual speculation. If there is no standard, then everyone will imagine his own way what is happening today. Everyone will interpret the words based on his intellect. When they hear something, even when we read the books, people will invent his own philosophy from the words. He will derive his own philosophy. And this is a very great problem. Everyone interpreting scripture in his own way, setting up his own basis of authority. Then there will be so many paths, but they are not going to lead you to the ultimate goal. Srila Prabhupada is saying now everybody and anybody is trying to establish his own theory as the ultimate truth. For example, now we are seeing the Buddhists, they are theorizing that annihilation is the ultimate goal of life. But what is that annihilation? The annihilation is for the material body, not for the spirit soul. The spirit soul doesn't get annihilated, it transmigrates from one body to another. So, although they accept the transmigration of the body, of this, there is transmigration, that means there is change of bodies. Birth and death is a fact. That's one of their conclusions. So they are accepting that birth and death is a fact, but they are not able to explain it properly. They are not able, because they're missing the points here. They are not accepting the soul. Why? Because they are not accepting the Vedas. So they're coming up with their own ideas. So the last line that we read yesterday was, if all material bodies are doomed to annihilation, see, their conclusion is, what is the ultimate goal? Annihilation. So if, and birth and death is a fact, that means whoever has taken birth has to die. So if all material bodies are doomed to annihilation, we must obtain a non-material body. After all the material bodies are destroyed, we must attain a non-material body or a spiritual body if we wish the next birth to be anything but false. Because it's already said that this cosmic manifestation is false. So whatever bodies you're seeing, everything is false here. And you want the ultimate goal, and you're saying the ultimate goal is annihilation, but the annihilation is for the body only. So you must accept that when all the material bodies are annihilated and you achieve your goal, there has to be a spiritual body. So from there, we will continue today's reading. How the spiritual body is attained. How the spiritual body is attained is explained here. How the spiritual body is attained is explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, text 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evem vetti tattvatah tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjuna. Janma karma cha me divyam. The Lord's janma and karma, his birth and activities are transcendental. Evem vetti tattvatah. This is important. Tattvatah. That's why when we say Shastrartha Vishwasa, Shraddha means Shastrartha Vishwasa. Shastra Artha means the conclusion of Shastra. Tattvatah, you have to understand the Lord. Not simply that oh, Krishna is so beautiful, I love Krishna, right? He's very, I like, he's very, that's good. But that attraction doesn't last. I don't, just each point comes and I just go into another discussion. So I want to stick to the flow here. But tattvatah means you have to understand, scrutinizingly the tattva. What is my tattva? I am Jiva Tattva. Jiva Tattva means this is the Tatastha Shakti of the Lord. Who is Bhagavan? ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति शब्दते शब्दते वदन्ति तत् तत्त्वविदस् तत्त्वं यज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति शब्दते. That means those who, the learned transcendentalists, the realized transcendentalists, see this absolute truth in three forms. The ultimate is Bhagavan. So who is Bhagavan? You have to understand tattvatah, what is my position, not that I love my child, I love my country, I love my community, I'm proud of being a so and so national, and I love Krishna. Doesn't go well because all these other things are coming from bodily identification. Tattvatah means you should understand I am not this body. You should, that is why that firm faith means completely sarvopadi vinirmuktam. Because sometimes we will say this statement is saying janma karma chame divyam evem vetti tattvatah, and we very very conveniently just pass by this word. We don't even pay attention to that. Evem vetti, one who knows that Krishna's activities and his birth are transcendental. Tyaktva deham, after giving up this body, punar janma naiti, he doesn't have another birth. Mameti, he will come to me, O Arjuna. So now I have read Bhagavad Gita, I heard this verse, oh, birth and activities of Krishna are transcendental. I heard this, I understood. Therefore, I have no birth now. Next life, I am not coming back, I am going back to Godhead. And this I heard once, and the rest of the day and the rest of my life, I'll be doing everything else. But because I heard this and I know this, evem yo vetti, right? So I am going back to Godhead. Knowing means what? Right? Knowing means to know that it is not possible to know the Lord. And that also not simply accepting that, yes, I know it's not possible to know the Lord, I've accepted, so I'm going back. No, no. You have to actually get that conviction by, that's why it's called uh, realization. Realization means here there are different levels actually in realization also. The ultimate realization is actually experiencing the personality of Lord, touching him, seeing him eye to eye, right? Smelling him, hearing him speak, like we hear in the scriptures about devotees getting that experience. So that is the ultimate experience, that's the ultimate realization. That happens when one comes to bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. But even before that, devotees get some realizations. What are those realizations? It's like an awakening within you. You just, that realization is actually Krishna only reciprocating, but in the form of Krishna bhavana, consciousness. Reciprocation from the Lord in the form of consciousness. You're not directly experiencing the Lord, but you're experiencing Him through consciousness, Krishna consciousness, realization. But what are we talking of here? That firm faith. What is that firm faith? That is explained as you will, through the eyes of Shastra, you are convinced of the presence of the Lord in each and every atom, in each and every living entity. When you get that firm faith, this is your position. Not that you're actually seeing the four-handed Paramatma form in every atom. Not like that. If you're actually seeing, then that would be experiencing. Not that you're directly seeing, but you're completely convinced of the fact. At every moment, you're convinced of the Lord present in each and every atom and in every living entity. On what basis? On the basis of Shastra, but simply by hearing Shastra, you don't get that conviction. When you receive the mercy from a devotee, that combination of that mercy and then hearing that Shastra, that gives you that firm faith. So, this person who gets firm faith is constantly in this, his state of mind, his state of consciousness is like that. At every moment, he's not seeing you as an Indian or African or woman or man. He's seeing you. You are a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord with this material body. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. He's seeing all living entities equally. How? Because he's seeing them on the platform of the soul. He's not seeing on the platform of the body. This is tattvatah. For you to understand the Lord tattvatah, you have to know yourself also. It's included in that. It's not possible that I am seeing everyone as well. This is my friend, this is my enemy, this is my people, that is someone else. And at the same time, I know the Lord tattvatah and I will quote some shlokas and I know him tattvatah. So therefore, after this birth, I'm not coming back. No, no. Faith means it is conviction. So it's not just like a parrot knowledge, you know, tattvatah. So then if somebody knows like that, then janma karma chame divyam. And what is his conviction? Krishna's birth, Krishna's activities, these are not ordinary. Krishna's activities are transcendental. And he understands this tattvatah. I mean, there's much more discussion on this actually. It is not possible for anyone to know Krishna's birth and activities fully. No. Why? Because our body, mind are material. Intelligence, everything is material. And he is transcendental, he is beyond the modes. That which is inferior, this intelligence, cannot grasp inconceivable objects. Krishna is inconceivable, so it is not possible. So, what is the realization of this firm faith devotee? His realization after trying to understand Krishna tattvatah, realizing that I cannot know him tattvatah, I cannot know him. I don't have the tools needed to understand him tattvatah. One who knows like this, after doing all the exercise and trying, when he comes to this firm conclusion, it is not possible to know Krishna because Krishna is inconceivable. What is the result of understanding that he is inconceivable? Someone who is very, very great. If you come in front of that person, what is your immediate reaction to that, response to that? When you go in front of Niagara Falls, I haven't been, but I can just imagine. What's your first uh, what do you say, response, reaction to that when you see something so huge?
Oh, oh,
Awe,
oh, and
awe,
yeah, awe
yeah,
and wonder.
wonder, awe, and automatically you'll feel respect for the creator.
Creator.
Something is so great, far beyond my, you see yourself as so insignificant in front of that. So when you see yourself as insignificant, you will bow down before the Lord.
Reverence.
Reverence. Awe is followed by reverence.
Mm.
Awe and reverence. So therefore, when someone gets this firm faith, what happens is there is awe of the greatness of the Lord, and seeing my insignificance, we will bow down before him. We will surrender to him. Therefore, the symptom of firm faith is surrender. In this world also, you will see struggle for existence. If you can get a master, in today's world, you can say an employer, right? Who is able to, you get that confidence, that trust, if you are able to get in somebody who is able to provide you, right? Maintain you decently. If you can get that faith, what will you do? You will surrender. You will stick with that company, with that employer, because you know he's, of course, after all, this is the material world. And in that, in Kali Yuga, it's hard to find a master like that. But I'm saying, if you were to find like that, you will surrender. So that means behind that word tattvatah so much is there. It's not just a simple line. Anyone who knows Krishna, his activities and birth are transcendental, he will not take birth again. Yes, but tattvatah. Evem vetti tattvatah. Tattvatah means like this. Tattvatah means after you do, you try to understand understand him tattvatah by tattva. And when you understand him, automatically Bhagavad Gita talks of five subjects, right? Kala, time, then karma, living entity, prakriti, and Ishvara. Five topics. So when you cannot separate. When you talk about the Lord includes his energies also. Shakti and Shaktiman cannot be separated because there's no meaning to Shaktiman without you remove his Shaktis. What does Shaktiman mean? Or similarly, you take only Shakti. You cannot do that. Shakti is there, sun and sunlight. You cannot just separate them. They come together. So when you talk about Bhagavan, automatically his energies are included. You will know about Prakriti, you will know about ourselves and other living entities. Everything will come. Tattvatah, you have to know. But the thing is, after you do this exercise of trying to understand the Lord Tattvatah, we will see, I cannot understand him. The Lord himself says in Bhagavad, nobody knows me. Even the demigods, great rishis, munis, nobody can know me. But if I say, oh, because the Lord is saying nobody can know me, so therefore there's no need for me to know him. Because anyway, I cannot know him. What's the point in trying to know him? No. You have to, knowing him means to know that I cannot know him. And that conviction will come when you actually make that effort from Shastric statements only. Bhagavad Gita, if you study, you will see such a person. Janma karma chame divyam evem yo vetti tattvatah tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjuna. Such a person has no rebirth. Uh, where is my page? I think I closed the page. Hare Krishna. One second. I don't know what happened. My page got closed. Acha, Chrome shut down. Okay, it's there. Yes, we are here. Okay. So janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvatah tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. See, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, tattvatah, does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Yes. This is the highest perfection, to give up one's material body and not accept another body, to, but to return home back to Godhead. This is the perfection. It is not that perfection means one's existence becomes void or zero. According to the Buddhist philosophy, the goal is to become void. It sounds so absurd, isn't it? You do all this simply to just stop existing, just go into void and, null. It is not that perfection means one's existence becomes void or zero. Existence continues. But if we positively want to annihilate the material body, so you want to annihilate the body positively, we have to accept a spiritual body, otherwise, there can be no eternality for the soul. So, how do you understand this statement? If we positively want to annihilate the material body, we have to accept a spiritual body, otherwise, there is no eternality for the soul. Of course, there is, from our transcendental diagram, we understand there is the left side and there is the right side. There is Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga. And the goal of Jnana Marga is go and merging into Brahman. So when you go and merge into Brahman, does the spirit soul have a body or not? Yes. Body means it is spirit. And does it have a form? It has a form. Rasapriya. So, one second. So, it has a body. Body means it is spirit soul has a form. It is spirit soul. Satchidananda. Vigraha. Vigraha means what? Vigraha means it's a body, it's a form. It has a form. Satchidananda Vigraha. Spirit soul is Satchidananda Vigraha. But what is that form? Does it have hands, legs, head? No. Eka Rupa Swarupa Bhag. Eka Rupa Swarupa Bhag. That means from whichever angle you look at it, it will look the same. That's why it's called uniform, like a point. You look at the point from any side, it will just look like a point, like a circle. But that doesn't mean it has no form. It has a form, but it is uniform. This is the spirit soul, Atma. But when the spirit soul is in this material world condition, it gets a body which is made of Bahiranga Shakti, external energy. This body is made of external energy. And when the spirit soul enters the spiritual world, when does the spirit soul enter the spiritual world? When it perfects bhakti by devotional service, especially when we talk about Golok Vrindavan. People get, so one some form of perfection, either through jnana or through bhakti. When one gets perfection, jnana means they go and merge into Brahman, of course, but through Ashtanga Yoga also one can get. Okay, let's say through bhakti. When one gets perfection through bhakti, then they enter the spiritual world. Okay, but when they get perfection through jnana, they go and merge into Brahman. So when the soul merges into Brahman, it remains as a spirit soul in that Ekarupa Swarupa Bhak form, uniform form. It stays like that. When it goes into the spiritual world, what happens is it gets a body made of Swarupa Shakti. Just like in the material world, we get a body made of Bahiranga Shakti. By perfecting bhakti, you get a body which is made of Swarupa Shakti. But that body is not created. Like here, the body takes birth and it's created. The body is created here. That's what we call as birth. But in the spiritual world, it's not created. Why? Because in the spiritual world, there is no birth, there is no death. It is eternal. So the bodies are there eternally. According to the bhakti that you are practicing, and how will you practice? Which type of bhakti you will practice depends on the association you get, the mercy of the devotee that you get, the guru who you get. Based on that association, your particular relationship, your particular mood with the Lord is decided. And you're practicing that mood. By that, you are awarded a transcendental body, a body made of Swarupa Shakti. You are awarded that body. So that happens in higher stages of bhakti. Even while you're in this world, if you come to the stage of bhava and prema, you're receiving that body made of Swarupa Shakti. So the same spirit soul in the material world has a body made of Bahiranga Shakti, but by perfecting bhakti, you are awarded a body made of Swarupa Shakti. And in that body, the devotee is rendering devotional service to the Lord in the perfected stages. And then they become the eternal associates of the Lord in the spiritual world like that. So now, here, what is this line saying? That if we positively want to annihilate the material body, we have to accept a spiritual body. Otherwise, there can be no eternality for the soul. So if we positively want to annihilate the material body, because here we are speaking from the, you should always see the context in which a statement is made. We should not just blankly, take one statement because I already have some preconceived ideas and try to fit this statement to that. That's the tendency usually. You have to see in what context is this sentence being spoken. Here, the context is the Lord is defeating, he is refuting Buddhist philosophy. Buddhist philosophy's conclusion is annihilation. And they don't have any understanding of the spirit soul. They say, I am is a fact, birth and death are a fact, and ultimate goal is annihilation. So, in regard to that, Srila Prabhupada is saying, if we positively want to annihilate the material body, because your ultimate goal is annihilation, we have to accept a spiritual body. Because the point is, this annihilation is only to the material body. Your goal of ultimate annihilation, you want to enter into void. That means there's nothingness. You're finishing your existence. If we positively want to annihilate the material body, we have to. So, what is perfection? Simply annihilating is not perfection. Actual perfection is to accept a spiritual body, to enter into the spiritual world, and engage in a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate perfection. Simply annihilating is not the ultimate perfection. Otherwise, there can be no eternality for the soul. So now, based on this, can you say, Srila Prabhupada is saying there can be no eternality for the soul, means, now, can you say, if we don't enter into the spiritual world, the soul cannot be eternal? Can you take like that? The nature of the soul is eternal. That is the characteristic feature of the soul. The soul has no birth, the soul has no death. It is eternal. That's why it's anadi, right? It's going on and on. There's no beginning. So please try to understand the things in context. If we positively want to annihilate the material body, we have to accept a spiritual body. Otherwise, that means if you don't accept the spiritual body, and also if you don't accept the soul, right, there cannot be any eternality for the soul. Because you're saying the ultimate goal is annihilation. That means the soul is getting annihilated. So you're saying, so this is not our statement, it is your statement, Buddhists. There can be no eternality for the soul. You're saying I am is a fact. But you're not accepting a spiritual body. Then when everything is annihilated, what is the destination? Everything is finished. You're finished. The soul is not eternal then. The soul is also annihilated. That's the point. Okay. Oh boy, I was thinking I'm going to finish this and I will also continue with the pastime, but I think I'll stop here. We just covered the fifth point. Maybe tomorrow we will continue. Yes, Parima Mataji, just quickly I can take one
Just
question.
one quick question, Mataji. That
Yes,
means the concept of nirvana. Buddhists usually have the concept of nirvana. So
yes,
nirvana is annihilation, if I'm
yes,
understanding it correctly.
yes.
Then actually, what do these Buddhists attain after all this austerity? Because annihilation is not possible, right, Mataji? Because the soul always exists. I
That's
just
that's I
curiosity.
don't, yeah, I don't know my knowledge of the Buddhist
Yeah,
philosophy
me
is
too.
limited to what I hear here in
Yeah.
our shastras and our
But
acharyas.
there is a region in that Goloka chart we see there is a region where the
Well,
Buddhists.
but it is not. The thing is, see, that's why the Vedas are all encompassing. There cannot be any knowledge which is not there in the Veda.
True.
All types of knowledge are there in Veda. That means even the Buddhist philosophy, as far as your mind can go and imagine all types of, the Lord says, Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Whatever, however far your mind is able to go, your intelligence is able to go to imagine and speculate and create new philosophies, all that is coming, that intelligence is coming from the Lord only. So nothing is beyond the purview of the Vedas. So similarly, the Lord is so competent, whatever your destination, whatever destination you desire, he can give. In one context, Srila Prabhupada says that if the child takes birth from the mother and then he grows up now and he says, "Oh mother, this world sucks. I cannot live in this world anymore. It is so miserable. People are so nasty. I don't want to live in this world. Take me back into your womb again." The mother will say, "What is this? Oh, my son, I have, after bearing the child for 9 months and raising him to be a youth, now he's so despondent, he wants to enter back into my womb." It is such a disappointment for the mother.
Yes.
But is the mother able to actually take the child back in the womb? She cannot do
No.
that. But Prabhupada says, but Krishna can do that.
Yes.
That's what it means when you want to go and merge, right? So actually, you are eternal part and parcel of the Lord. You're meant, your constitutional position is to render devotional service to Him. That's what you're supposed to do. But instead of doing that, you want to go and merge into Him. That's one. But someone else wants to just become void also. And Krishna has the capacity. So, yes, there is a place for them also. Uh, but the thing is, the place for them means, Prabhupada explains, it's like their life is like stones and trees, basically
Mm.
without any consciousness, void. And what is their destination after that? Because this is not a standard path. It is still in the material world. Please understand. It's not like they're actually getting liberated or something. It is
Mm.
still, material existence only, because there are only three paths that Krishna has given. There is
Mm.
Jnana Marga, there is Bhakti Marga, and there is Karma Yoga. By Karma Yoga, you can enter either into Jnana or Bhakti. So, strictly speaking, there's two paths that will lead you to ultimate, to Param Tattvam, absolute truth. Now, in the Buddhist philosophy, they don't accept Vedas. They are
Mm.
not accepting the standard procedure. Without accepting the standard procedure, how you have a, you want to put your mail into a mailbox. If that mailbox is authorized by the government, then your mail will go its destination. But if you just create your own mailbox and you put as many mails as you want, will it go to the destination? It won't.
No.
So, therefore, Buddhism is actually covered atheism. It's atheism. It's actually why covered. It is atheism only, because they say they're following Lord Buddha, but they're rejecting Vedas. Those who reject Vedas are called atheists.
Mm.
So therefore, when you say there's a place for them in the Goloka chart, uh, I don't know. Those who merge into Brahman, they go and merge into Brahman. But
Mm.
Buddhists, Prabhupada says they
Yeah.
live, they become like stone, basically. That's what he says. Trees and stones, like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for the clarification. Mhm.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Dandavat pranams, Mataji.
Danvat
Hare Krishna.
pranam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Thank you, dear devotees. Thank you for joining. I will end here. We will meet tomorrow. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki
Mami ki
jai.
jai.
Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj
Jai.
Goswami ki
Mami
jai.
ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Pati ki jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhakta
Gaura
Vrind ki
Bhakti
jai.
Vindi ki jai.
Vancha
Thank you.
kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Kripa
sindhubhya
Sindhubhaya
vacha
Vacha
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavibhyo
namaha.
Namo Namah.
Ananta koti
Koti
Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Vaishnavindi ki jai.